Hello guys, this is Dipankar. Welcome to CoderCrab. So today we'll discuss regarding TypeScript. So there are a lot of news about TypeScript around. TypeScript is very good language, and you are going to use it in Angular. So, but let's see what it is actually. So for today, we'll see the first chapter of TypeScript. So that includes what is TypeScript. It's very short introduction to it, and then we'll see one sample program by running it in TypeScript. Uh, we'll see that. How do you write a small program and we'll run it. Okay, so let's see. So basically, what is TypeScript? So if you have ever worked on JavaScript, right? So JavaScript is something which you are using in the browser side, in the client side. Okay, so before the Node.js came, so JavaScript was completely in the front end side, right? So now after Node.js came, now it is like you are using in both the ways, and now it's a full stack developing language. So before that, we are using the JavaScript. Before we are using the JavaScript in such a manner like a functional process, right? So you are writing your codes in blocks, and when the project becomes bigger, you face the issue there. So your code becomes messy, right? So this this was the idea behind the TypeScript. So the developer of C Sharp, right, has introduced this TypeScript to us. So TypeScript is very much easy for those people who have worked on C Sharp, Java, and this kind of languages, object-oriented languages, right? So it is very easy for them to switch to TypeScript. So and also for the JavaScript developer, because TypeScript is JavaScript, end of the day, right? So it is just an approach of object-oriented process introduced to JavaScript, you can say. So something new into something like constructor, something like class, something like interface. So these concepts are being introduced to JavaScript, and your code is cleaner, and your code is having good data type in your program procedures, and in your data flow you have your data types. Unlike the JavaScript, you don't have any. You just declare as late or var. It's not like that. You can declare a string, boolean, all those things, right? So this is now you have total control of your program, right? Let's not mess it up, and let's go ahead and see what it says. So TypeScript is a object-oriented approach of JavaScript, as we discussed. As name says, TypeScript is strongly typed language which can be compiled, right? So here comes the difference, right? Compilation. So it is a superset of JavaScript, as we discussed. Like it is a superset of what we have today or what we had earlier, JavaScript, the normal JS, right? So now what's the benefit of it? So as the compilation process comes, the major problem with JavaScript was JavaScript, you won't get it until unless you run it, right? You'll get the error after you run it in your console, right? So here this makes a difference. Once you compile the program and you have an error, you can catch it earlier, right? So that is a big benefit out of it. And second is data type. You are defining string, you are defining boolean, you are defining integer. So you have full control of it. And the class concept, the interface concept, constructor concept. So these are very good concepts which can be used to create a big project, to create a framework out of it. So you are not writing a single page, right? You are going to be writing a big project, and where you are having thousands of modules. So in those cases, you have to be very much careful about your code reachability and all those things, code readability, all those things, right? So for that reason, this object oriented concept is really needed, and that will definitely help you, right? Then next is the major components: TypeScript compiler, TypeScript language service. So TypeScript compiler is something transpiler. So that is a compiler which will compile your TS code or TypeScript code.ts as an extension to .js. Okay. Next is language service. It's just a completion of formatting tool that you will have with your ID, where you will get the intelligence and everything, and the compilation process now, right? So the compilation process is pretty simple. You just write a tsc and put your file name. You will get a JS output. That means you will get similar file name .js and in the same directory, and there you will run the command with node space xyz.js. Then you will get your output. Otherwise, you can run the same file and get your same compiled code, which is a JS code, inside a browser console. Simple, right? Let's see. Do all the setups. So uh, now let's follow these steps. So I'll give these steps in the description as well, and let's follow the steps and do our work. So the first step is create a directory like C uh, inside C TypeScript test. So I have created a directory. So let's see, open the directory. So inside the file explorer, I have created inside the TypeScript. So this is my directory. I'm going to tell the directory, and so if you have VS Code, you can just open VS Code, or if you don't have VS Code, go and install it. The link is given in the description, or I've not written here, I'll give in the description. Okay, so I've just opened that folder, TypeScript folder here, and what I'll do is I'll remove this code. And so this is, let's create one. Okay, let's go step by step. And this is your terminal. This terminal is open. So let's first go to, okay, now we are in step 3. Open the folder you have created. If you have installed npm, check by putting npm v. So if you have npm, check here like this. Okay, so I have npm. If you don't have npm, go to this and download npm. You will get both node and npm there. Okay, so next is npm install globally and TypeScript. Okay, so it will take a little while. Okay, so now I think my TypeScript is ready. So let's check the TypeScript version. Okay, TypeScript compiler version, transpiler version. So let's see this. Yes, 4.3.2. So I think we are good here. Okay, so now here comes the world famous program, the hello world. So I'll just put it as a test.ts, and I'll create, I'll just write a simple program here, message, that is a type of string, and I'll just put here my hello world. Okay, now semicolon. Let's just console it out. Sorry, console.log. Let's just put my message. Okay, so now we are in step 8. Okay, we're good here. Now let's create a tsconfig.json, because the compilation process will search for a tsconfig.json file, where it will get the pull out the information regarding the compiler in the compiler. Okay, so let's create a file, tsconfig.json. So it is using the format of JSON 5. So I'll just put here, and the I'll put the compilation option, compiler option. Okay, and inside that I'll give those 3 values, which is target, module, and source map. So target, okay, ES6 module. I'll give a module as common JS. Okay, then I'll give another value as source map. give source map to create a source map directory, and here I'll just give this. Okay, so now it looks good. So this process is also done. So this, put below compiler this option, these values, and now go to a terminal and hit tsc test. So let's go to this tsc, our file name test or test1 or whatever you have given your file name dot ts. So now we can see here it is, the compilation is finished and one file is created, test.js. You can see this one. Okay, so now as test.js is created, if I will hit here node test.js, I'll get the result.